This will be the third time facing Atlanta this season, which each of you having a win. What will it take to beat Atlanta on the road to get off to a good start in the Leagues Cup?
Yeah, it's an opponent that you mentioned we've seen twice now, and the difference is obviously it's in a different competition. But I'd say where both teams are in the league and some of the results that they were able to put together in the last few matches for themselves and some of the results we were able to put together for ourselves, I would say both clubs are in a similar position in terms of wanting to continue to sustain that momentum in a competition that's probably going to mean a lot to both clubs. I can only speak for our club. At DC, we view this as a competition that we absolutely want to compete in to the very end. And in order to do that, we're going to need to have performances like the last two matches. And I know the guys are capable of doing that. So it's also an opportunity for us with a couple new players coming into the team to be able to have them integrate with the group. And I think that's going to be exciting as well for those individual players, for our team, and for the club in general.
And then Jason will throw it to you for online questions.
Perfect. Thank you. Again, those of you online, if you have a question, please use the raise hand function and we'll call to you. We're going to start with David Johnson. David, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
I'm sorry, you mentioned obviously the new signings. Just how do you envision, or what can you share about how their role will be in Leagues Cup since they're relatively new to the team?
Yeah, thanks for that, Dave. 2 out of 3 have been with us now for a couple of weeks training, and now they're available to be able to play for the team. And David Schnegg and Dominique Badji. Boris is still going to take a few more days. I hope that he's available for the Wednesday match potentially. But I'd say that the other 2 guys, and David and Dominique, they've integrated into the team very well in terms of training. And we've seen a good dynamic from them in terms of the impact that they've had in training. And I know that they're itching to have their debut for DC United. And, that's something that we're all excited about. And it's gonna continue to help our club progress in the way we want to in 2024. And this competition allows that too. It's a great competition. Last year, my experience with it, I really enjoyed it. It was something that when you get to play a club from another country and Santos Laguna in our second game, that's a special opportunity, and that doesn't always happen. So there's a lot to this beyond just some of the individual players that are going to come into the team, and there's a lot of excitement around this event as well.
And you mentioned last couple performances that almost kind of felt like a validation or revalidation of all the hard work you've been putting in this season. But what about those last couple performances that you want to be as a blueprint going forward?
Yeah, thanks for that. I would say the resolve of the group in those 2 matches is something that I've tried to communicate has been there even whenever the results have not gone our way, and it is nice for us to be able to see those 2 matches against Nashville and Minnesota out to have 3 points in both. And I think it was critical for us in the MLS regular season where we were to try to give ourselves a chance coming out of Leagues Cup whenever we get back into that. But at the same time, when I look at those 2 matches, a little bit of the microcosm within both of those is that we're down goals in both of those matches, and we still find a way to continue to fight and overcome that. And so I think we've overcome some different adversity this year, some self-inflicted and some just things that are out of our control. But we're continuing to make progress, and we're going to look at this competition in Leagues Cup the same way. It's a great opportunity for us, and how we come out of this, I think, will tell us exactly the direction we need to go in the last 9 matches of the year.
And maybe I'm asking the same question, but in a different way. Do you think on a big picture scale, when you're and drawing on your coaching experience, to go from a 5-0 loss to those 2 results, that's a dramatic 180. Have you ever experienced that, or what does that tell you about your team?
Yeah, I've said this, coming off of the Orlando match, that was an outlier for us on the year, and it's one that we hope will be an outlier for the rest of the season. We've had some results that may have gotten away from us in terms of a score line. I can think back to Houston, but in that Houston match, it ends 4-1, and we end up down 2 men, but we're up 1-0 at halftime. So that's a different circumstance. Orlando, on the other hand, they were just better from us from the beginning. So that one to me is an outlier. The way that we have competed for the most part throughout the entire season is we've given ourselves a chance to win. I think we're one of the teams with the highest expected points throughout the MLS, maybe top 5, I want to say. But we have to realize those points. There's a big difference between expected goals and expected points and real goals and real points. And we were able to see out the Minnesota and Nashville game in the way that we want to. And I hope we build off of that, and we will build off of that is what our thought process is.